Hi, my name is Maurice, but you can call me Mr. K. I'm a tech expert, but sometimes I do a lot of engineering work, mechanical work. How did I learn to do all these things? I really don't know. I am a very good person in terms of observing and doing exactly how things are. This is my first time I'm going to change the wiper. They're called Wiper Linkage. When I went to the junkyard to look for that part, the guys at the junkyard, they were calling them makasi here in Kenya. But you can see mine, it's loose. It's actually playing a lot. It was making a lot of noise during the rain season. When I switch on the wiper, it was really annoying. It was not doing the right work. So I went to the junkyard and I got this piece. This piece, you don't normally see it. It is somewhere hidden under the bonnet, and it's called the wiper linkage, or I don't know which is the right word, but I've tried to look online to see what is the right word. So wiper link, because it has two links, the link going to the left and the other one going to the right, which is the driver's side and the other one is passenger side. So I decided to do it myself, and this is a learning experience. So if you see me making some mistakes, don't judge. This is the first time I'm doing this. I am actually trying to figure out how to get the cover out. This cover has never been removed, and this car is about 20 years now. But yeah, actually 2004, it's the manufacturing year of this car, and today is 2024. So it was April 2004, and by April this year it's going to be 20 years old. Remember, it has been used in Japan for like 5 years, 6 years, and almost 7 years, I guess, before it came to Kenya. And then the first owner was another guy I knew. I am the second owner in Kenya, and some of the parts have been running for the last 20 years. So it's obviously you'll come across things that are failing in your car, which you obviously they don't run forever. Some of the parts must be replaced. For some reason, the linkage or the makasi, whatever they call it in Kenya, they call it the wiper makasi. The links, they became loose and they enlarged, and that is why there's a huge play. So just removing these components requires you to remove that cover, which is just before the windscreen, and trust me, that cover has never been removed. Most of this cover, they actually carry a lot of dirt inside, because a lot of the leaves, dust. I've seen even in other cars where animals have been found inside, like rats, snakes, even cats. They have kitten. They are breeding kitten inside that space. It's a huge space, actually. If you look at it, it's a huge space. That's where somehow the link is inside there, and then the water from the wiper goes down through the channels all the way. So it's quite a job to do this if you have never done it. I believe there are people who are mechanics and they do this, they do not do it, but it's just a learning experience. Maybe you can literally do this at home. Maybe you have interest in doing things by yourself, making your own car. I can promise you that I have been doing my mechanical work for this car by myself. I've pulled out the engine and broke it down, replace the pistons, replace the bearings, put the engine back, and fingers crossed, hoping that nothing's going to blow up or no leakages. And the engine keeps on running. Okay, so am I a qualified mechanic? No, I did not go to school for that. But all I know is that if you pay attention to details, you might actually learn something out of that. So removing that cover, it is quite some work, but eventually it comes out. So let's see how it's going to come out. It's a whole piece that it actually comes out. There are other small pieces at the end. You remove those pieces which are riveted, or they have pins. So you remove one side, you go remove the other side, then you can be able to access the makasi. As I said, that in Kenya, when I went to the junkyard, my junkyard guy, it's called Denu. Big up to Denu from Kitengela, who connected me to another junkyard guy in somewhere in Kayole, Kangundo Road. Getting that part is not easy, because not every day that part is going to break. There are parts of the car that if you go to the shop, you walk from one shop to another, you can't get them because they don't break so easily. So how do you get these parts? How do you replace them? You go to the junkyard, where there are cars which have either had accidents or they were brought in Kenya to be sold as salvaged, or they have been cut into pieces from Japan and they brought in Kenya. But mostly you find the ones which have been brought in Kenya and they want to sell in parts, in pieces. They sell the nose cut, so they don't remove anything from the nose cut. They don't remove at all. So even if you go and ask someone to sell for you this part, they will refuse and tell you, I have to sell this part exactly the way it is. So it took me like a week to get that part. I said it's called Wiper Linkage. That's the best I could get online. When I went online and tried to look what is the name of this thing, it said it's Wiper Linkage. So removing it is just about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts which are holding that. And there's also an electric, there's a motor. By this thing, it has a motor. That's the reason why the wiper goes from one point to the other. It is driven by a motor. This motor does not go like 360. It is somehow configured to go to about certain degrees on left, then go back again. Some degrees, I don't know how many degrees that's been configured. Probably, if you look at it, it's about 120. You know, so 120 degrees, maybe 100 degrees. I don't know. From line from the bottom to the upper side of the windscreen, that looks like maybe 90 degrees, probably. I don't know. But recently it has been raining. Yesterday it rained very heavily. I was rolled and I struggled a lot. I struggled a lot with the rain, especially with this part which was loose. If you look at it, it just looks like the other one, the one which I got. Now the motor is okay. There's nothing wrong with the motor. The only problem is that you see that part which is shaking. That is the one of the link which is shaking. I think it's the left link or the right link. I'm not sure which one, but it is shaking so much, so it needs to be replaced. Obviously, there's nothing you can do about it. It has a huge hole that you can't. But in Kenya, people actually fix that kind of things. You can go to welding guy and he tries to reduce the area which has been expanded. But why would you do all that when you can go to junkyard and get another piece? This piece I got it for about 10,000. They're not cheap. And then the people who are selling them, you know, they are telling you can either buy or leave it, because they know you can walk so many other places and you will not be able to get it. So I removed the one which was broken, put back the one. Then this is not actually new. It's actually from a salvage, maybe an accident vehicle, because I remember when we went to open it, the car had broken windscreen and there was no engine. So yeah, and then you put things back the way they were, exactly the way they were. It's just like when one thing I like about mechanical is that once you open something, just put it back exactly the way it was. I know so many people will just find so many nuts and screws lying around the ground, but try not to have any screw or nut lying on the ground. Try not to, because that screw or nut might be holding a very serious component. Now you can see how the link work. That link did a serious one. You can see that hole is not supposed to look like that. So after many 20 years of wiper 20 years, it broke down, but the motor is actually good. I can be able to use motor later on if the current motor which I've just put in breaks down. These parts, they are made in Japan. So we're going to put back the wipers now, and then we try to adjust them and test, see how they work. So you put back the wipers the way they were before. Do not you need to pay attention that the wipers the way they were. There is a left and there is a right. There is a passenger side wiper and there is a driver side wiper. Pay attention to the way things were before. Most of people, when they come back, they might put the wipers in the way they look in opposite direction. So tighten them, but don't tighten so much, because you are supposed to balance the wipers so that it doesn't, they are not crisscrossing each other, they are not making noise. You also have to see, you just test. You go inside the car, switch it on, put on the wiper, and you listen to see are they making noise, so that you can actually come back and readjust. So that was the stage what I was doing, trying to tighten them, and then after that went started the car, not really started, put on the ignition, switch it on the wiper, and then try to see how they are behaving, because there's an angle where they're supposed to, the angle where they're supposed the degrees, you can see it's going up, but it's making noise. The reason it's making noise is at the lower side, when the driver's side wiper and the passenger side wiper, they are colliding at the bottom level. So what you need to do is to adjust the driver's side wiper, but I needed to tighten. You can see actually the driver's side wiper is crossing the passenger side wiper, and that's where the noise is coming from. So first of all, I tightened the passenger side wiper, because that one, it's okay the way it is. It doesn't, that is what you have to tighten first. Then you adjust the driver's side wiper and you lift it a little bit so that doesn't crisscross. And also you can actually drop the bonnet down, and then you try to listen again. Maybe for the first time, because you had not tightened, it's because they were colliding. But when you try to pay attention again, pay attention, you feel able to hear something is not right. And you can see the wiper is not covering all of the side, the windscreen, especially from the driver's side. So after fixing and balancing, now check out. Thank you very much for